Brought to you by Sayge Media.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
We've got a great show lined up for you.
Tequila's a whole different kind of drunk.
That's a dumb stripper.
They're always stupid.
Good point.
Who are those guys?
And you just reach your arm in there and give it a couple of tugs. And
How do you give someone an IOU for a shit in the mouth?
They just keep telling the story.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
boop-bop, diddly-bop, pop-pop, boom.
How'd all you people get in my house?
It's half Jaeger and it's half rhinoceros piss after he's ate asparagus.
Who's in here eating chips, taking a shit?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Alrighty, I'm queued up, ready to go. Here we are with another exciting episode of the Guys Like Us show. Hope you enjoyed that last one. Maybe you're binge listening to the stuff. I don't know, but hopefully you'll enjoy this one as well. We're going to do a little segment during the show. It's called our Forgotten Film segment, where we kind of look at a film that hasn't been talked about much, isn't really on a lot of people's radar, but it was a great movie. Has great people acting in it and stuff like that. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we do, how you guys been? You had a good week?
Yeah.
Good couple of weeks?
Things going good. Nothing too new and exciting, but yeah. Good
You
week
still
so far.
recovering from that festival there, Nicholas?
Yeah. Also, yeah. It was great. It was a fun time. I also forgot to mention on the last episode, I got to go to the Braves game where Acuna broke the Otis Nixon record. That was pretty sick.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got to meet Otis Nixon, and he's an interesting cat. Back in my water delivery days, he lived in Country Club of the South, and so I met him delivering to his house one time. Definitely has that what they call like the face like a catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
Like his face is
He
tight
was
leather.
at that game too.
Was he?
He was at the
Oh.
game. They showed him in the
Oh, was he?
stands.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I remember that right. I was watching it on TV, but I'm pretty sure he was because he recorded it. They showed him recording him stealing the base and everything.
I'll tell you what. There was a kid that was at the game. That it was his 10th birthday. He had a sign that said it was his 10th birthday, which I don't know why he had a sign like anyone could fucking see him. We were way up in the he was in the nosebleeds with a sign like anyone's gonna fucking see that shit.
Yeah.
But this kid,
Your parents didn't fucking spend their bank on your fucking gift there.
dude, this kid, at first I was like, oh, good for this kid. Like I liked how into the game he was.
Yeah.
He was blowing his voice out the whole fucking game.
That's cool.
And at first I was like, I like it. You know, this kid, like he's a huge Braves fan. He's a little kid. Good for him, man. It's his 10th birthday. Yeah, hell yeah. And then by the end of it, I loved this kid because everyone hated him. Because everyone was fed up with his shit. Because it was like people were clapping and cheering, and every time it was this kid going, "That's fucking good!" I mean, he was blowing his voice out every
That's
time.
awesome.
Where everyone around
How
was
old
like,
did
"I'm
they say he was
done with
10?
it. I hate this kid. I hate him. I'm done with it." He's, "Let's go, let's go!" I mean, you could hear it breaking.
By
The
the way,
kid
that's
was
not our
able to
producer's
talk.
mic going out.
Yeah.
Like it normally does.
He was not able to talk by the end of that game, and he kept screaming.
Growing up as a kid, though, that was my birthday thing too. I always went to Braves games. Like my birthday's in mid-May, so the season was cranking up pretty good. And back then, the Braves didn't have great teams. They had great players and stuff on their teams, like Murph and all them. But I remember one time later on in life, I had this photo book. I had always kept the ticket stub, and I would write the score in the ticket stub, and I'd put it in this photo book thing. And they won every single time.
That's awesome.
Like I know they did it for me, which is awesome of them.
Around what year was this?
This is from like 82 start, I think was the first one.
So you think you saw maybe 5-6 games, because that was probably the only 5 or 6 games they won back then.
Right. I just happened to time it. Matter of fact, like you remember,
should have gone to every game.
You and I went to some Falcons game, and it was the first game I had been to where the home team lost. Like I don't go to a lot of Falcons games. I hadn't gone to a lot of, I hadn't gone to a whole lot of Braves games. I went to more Braves games than any other sports team.
Right.
Went to a couple of Georgia games, but for some reason I had never been to a game live where the home team lost. And I could never parlay that into season tickets from a team owner, though. Be like, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this little streak I got going, but y'all are some superstitious motherfuckers. I mean, what's it going to cost you to put me in the stands? Usually, if I'm right there down on the field, you guys blow them out too. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah. I mean,
if
you're spending
box seats.
You're spending millions on that schlub of a quarterback over there. You could just you could make your money back. Just have me.
Yeah,
and maybe like like some kind of like a petty cash account for the taco bar up there or something.
Yeah, well, why don't you buy some fucking?
If I got box
tickets?
seats, you generally usually double the spread. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, either way, buy some Falcons tickets because I'm sick of Ritter blowing this shit.
Oh my god!
and fuck Caleb McGarry. Yeah. Fuck Caleb McGarry.
Again, you break up every time. Like the intensity of your voice when you say his name with "fuck him," it blows your microphone out of like a subatomic level.
I fucking hate that
guy. All right, it'll be all right. It'll be all right.
He has a stupid face too. I hate his stupid face.
I'm gonna give you every cliche they always fucking say. It's early in the year, man. It's
one game at a time.
One game at a time. They're gonna.
We got to run the ball. We got to stop the run. We got to play well on special teams.
That's right. As long as they remember that their helmet's not a chair.
That's right. Helmet's not a chair, fellas.
Can they get a hand in?
Let's get a hand in. Let's get a hand in.
If one of them gets hurt, go rub some dirt on it.
That's right. Spit on it and rub some dirt on it.
I hate McGarry's stupid face.
He's still fucking. You're like swaying with like range. Like you've been swaying back and forth with it. Like
I've hated this guy for 5 years. I knew for 5 years this day was gonna come where he was gonna fool everybody into another contract, and he fucking did it. I hate him. I hate his stupid fucking face. I hate that he went to the weight room and decided to bulk up for one season so he could fucking shit the bed the next season. I knew it was coming. I knew it. They should make me GM of this fucking team. I would never would have signed that guy.
Oh my god, I can't. I've already done 30 years of your dad making that statement. I can't take another.
Well,
we taking over that.
The difference is I would have done a good job.
We would have had 30 years of championships had they fucking listened, and I would have been carrying on the legacy. But they didn't fucking listen. Goddamn Arthur Blank.
Knuckleheads.
Yeah.
He
ran Home Depot so well too. I don't know what happened. I can't believe those didn't correlate much better. They got that aquarium in downtown. It's going great. A lot of tourists show up. Somehow it falls apart when he gets to football. Apparently.
Wait, what?
It started off all right.
It's common with a lot of rich guys.
What? Are you under the impression that Home Depot has an aquarium? The hell are you talking about?
No, it's a different business that he helped start up. Him and his
Does he
Home
own the
Depot
aquarium?
partner. Arthur Blank has a hand in the Georgia Aquarium.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that until right now. I thought you were like, yeah, fucking.
I'm correct, right?
Home Depot built the aquarium. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Sounds legit.
I'm sure he used a bucket or two from there. And I'm sure there was some orange buckets laying around. But he had him and that Bernie. What's the other guy's name? Bernie something.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders? No, I think that's
that commie guy.
That's a feel the burn. Saw that on a fucking
bastard.
bumper sticker.
I was gonna throw out more names like I normally do, but I can't think of any more Bernies.
Oh, okay.
Bernie Taupin.
Weekend at Bernie's?
That guy. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's.
That guy.
Is the same guy that writes all the lyrics for Elton John.
Elton John,
right?
yeah.
Weekend at
Bernie
Bernie's.
Taupin? Is that his name? Bernie Taupin?
Mm-hmm. Same guy. They built the aquarium.
Yeah.
I like saying all these things. I think when we do this, there's a handful of our listeners that are just like know what we're supposed to be saying. And they're just fucking yelling at the podcast.
Yelling at the screen. You idiots.
Fucking morons.
Weekend at Bernie's too.
And they get a lot of opportunity to do that, I'm guessing too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that's a good. You can add that to any sequel, and it makes it cooler.
It does.
I own both those on DVD, by the way. I own Breakin' and Breakin' 2 on DVD.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually did. I didn't.
Bernard Marcus.
Well, now
Is
you're
that his
getting,
name?
now you're getting into
Bernard
Bernards.
Marcus.
Now you're
Bernie
getting,
Okay.
Marcus.
now you're getting
Bernie
into
Marcus.
Bernards, though. That's not the
What?
same name.
What?
You're stuttering again.
It's my mic. Now you're getting into Bernards. That's not the same name.
Yeah,
Well,
same
Bernie is short for
I'm sure
Bernard.
I'm sure his mom called him Bernie.
Well, yeah, whatever, though. If he's got to go
He was
by
a nice-
Bernie.
He was a nice Jewish
His
lad.
mama call him Bernie. I'm gonna call him Bernie.
That's right. He was a nice Jewish boy.
Yeah. Well, they cut the corners on some of the spending around. It's okay. My aunt and uncle are Jewish. I'd like to clarify that I'm allowed to make this joke.
Why would they cut corners when they own the Home Depot?
I don't know, because you don't want to lose too much money with the Home Depot supplies.
I figured they would want to buy everything just so
Who's
they could
that?
they use the building of the aquarium to boost the sales of Home Depot.
Well, how about we put some of it into the Falcons? That's all I'm saying, and not with Nick's favorite player there.
You mean the human turnstile?
Yeah.
Known as our right tackle.
That fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
We've had some funny nicknames for our players that nobody else has. Like we have human turnstile now. We used to have Grady. Are you going to finish that, Jackson?
Yeah.
You gonna finish
Big
that?
Grady, you gonna,
That was a fucking nickname.
I love that. Big Grady, you gonna eat that, Jackson?
I couldn't think of his name without saying that in my head.
What about Bob? That dude's crazy.
Yeah,
Phil.
Bob, dude, that's
That
crazy.
dude is crazy.
Do the fucking eye.
Yeah, that one eye looking the other way. That dude literally held on every single play of his entire career. Every play, and it was just like, you know what? They got tired of throwing the flag on him. They're like, that's just him. That's how he plays. You know, I flagged him 4 or 5 times in a row. He doesn't stop. Just stop throwing the flag. I got a plane to catch at the end of this fucking game here. This game's gonna take all day.
Damn. Hold on. Speaking of Jews and fucking getting Jude out, I'm gonna have to cut that. Speaking of getting Jude
I feel
out.
it into the. Well, I ain't got to worry about recording this podcast anymore.
I don't have to worry about quitting. It's like just got fired.
Hang on, I gotta get. How do you unsend a text? By the way,
hold on. We never got our fucking. Now that we're talking about nicknames, we never got our Jesse Tuggle autograph. That motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Damn it.
what? Oh yeah, what happened to that?
Damn it.
Who was in charge of that?
I don't want to say on the air.
Well, in our eyes, it was you. So
That
I don't know
wasn't me.
who else you're middleman in for, but the blame's gonna lie on you on this one.
Yeah.
As far as the guys like us show is concerned.
Falls under producery.
Yeah,
You're supposed to produce.
I thought he was
You're
going to
supposed to
guest on
produce an autograph.
When's he going to guest on this show?
I get forward a signature. Damn, that
I think
would
it's really
that would
the same.
that
I have a
would
Topps card. Could you do the same when you
Hold on,
come
hold
up?
that would have been pretty funny.
Make
to
a little
just-
eBay money.
That would have been pretty funny to get the picture of us and just me sign it as Jesse Tuggle and send it to you guys
Yeah.
and tell you guys it was real autograph.
Yeah.
That's like
You
I
can
think
just tell
it's,
him. Thanks, Jess. Took care of your light work. for me."
I think it's funny as fuck. Kid Rock apparently has a like a fake Rolex. He buys them in bulk, and he has a
Okay.
thing that he does
Yeah.
where if he's talking to a person, he
This is
fucking
not another Jewish story, right?
he has a thing he does where if he's talking to somebody and they're that guy thinks they're hitting it off and they're all excited to meet Kid Rock. He has this thing where he's like, "Man, you're a pretty cool dude," and he gives them his watch off his wrist, and they think it's like a fucking
real
millionaire's
Rolex.
like Rolex, and he gives them this fake watch and walks away and laughs about it. And like,
I think Ric Flair has like 7 of them.
man,
Old Kid Rock Rolexes.
It might be a story for. Do you know the show Kill Tony, Ryan?
No.
There's a show called Kill Tony that all the comics that we like go on it.
Okay.
And it's this guy Tony Hinchcliffe has a show, and it's basically they bring great comics on for the panel,
Mhm.
but people put their name like in like a hat basically, and they get drawn, and they come up and they have 1 minute where they get to try stand up.
Right.
A lot of people, it's their first time ever trying it, and they go on there and then they try it and bomb and then get trashed by the actual comics that are on the panel. But it's a really fun show. Tony Hinchcliffe's kind of annoying, but it's a really fun show. But that dude's a huge wrestling fan. So he's the guy that's on the Rogan episodes with like the Undertaker and Ric Flair and stuff like that. That dude that's there hanging out. That's who he is. But Ric Flair came on Kill Tony with with a bunch of it. He came on with some of the Legion of Skanks guys and Shane Gillis, and Ric Flair was hammered, of course, and he fucking ate shit on that show and bombed, and then they just destroyed Ric Flair when he left. I mean, it was kind of an embarrassing appearance, actually. Like he went on and fucking bombed, and then was like, I'm funnier than everybody on this panel, and then went on this thing about how he's not going to take cheap shots, and he's never going to take shots at anybody trying their hard. And then he kind of just left and slurred all his words and kind of almost fell off the stage and just walked off. And it was
sounds about right.
It was really, really embarrassing actually to see, but it was great because Louis J. Gomez from Legion of Skanks was behind him the whole time, doing a thumbs down, going boo, boo.
Speaking of funny people, that kind of leads us into our segment that we have here, because the movie that we have this week that I chose is a movie called, it's a Chevy Chase movie. That's the funny person that I'm referring to. You guys remember Chevy Chase?
I remember when he was funny.
Love Chevy Chase.
Way back that far?
Yeah, way back then. Yeah.
You remember when he was not an asshole?
Well,
no.
We've talked about him a little bit on this show.
The movie you're talking about, it's his first, it's his actual first motion picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe it is. I think this is what he left Saturday Night Live for. Is he got an offer to make this? He got a few offer roles, and this is the first one he took. And if you look at the cast and stuff, it is a really good movie. It's just it's not remembered like Vacation is. It's not remembered like some of his other movies. I can only all of a sudden just Vacation movies are popping in my head, but like Fletch, stuff like that. Like it. He really took off after this. Like he was in I think he was in one season of Saturday Night Live when he first started, and then he decided he was going to go into movies. And you start off with like his first two movies are with Goldie Hawn, because he had this one, which is Foul Play, by the way. The name of the movie that we're looking at today is Foul Play. I figured in honor of baseball season coming into postseason time, the title would be kind of appropriate. It's not a baseball movie, but and then they followed it up with another movie called Seems Like Old Times, which also had Goldie Hawn in it.
That was a good one too.
Charles Grodin. They were great movies. It's just I don't know if it's time or whatever. We'll kind of try to dissect why it's a forgotten film now. But
was he really only in one season of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. I think he left after season one. I could look that up, but I recently listened to the audible versions of the history of Saturday Night Live, and I think that's what they were saying is he was there for the first season and that was it.
For some reason, I thought he did more time than that on that show. That's crazy.
No, it's weird because people talk about Community. He even made a statement recently about Community saying that the show just wasn't funny enough for him and all this stuff. Like he's been dogging that, and he has such a reputation from that and from the time he had his own talk show of being this asshole and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, to my understanding, I think he was like throwing around the N-word backstage. So
right, but if you go back to like even back when Saturday Night Live first started, nobody knew who Chevy Chase was, but he became popular quickly, and apparently, like the shit went to his head quickly too. Like him and Bill Murray would butt heads a lot about stuff. He didn't get along with Belushi very well.
Yeah.
And then he flat out told them all, this show's going to go nowhere and I'm going to go off and be a movie star. And he was half right. I mean, he went on to be a pretty successful movie star, and Saturday Night Live is still going. So.
Well, and the show sucks now. So, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it
sucked for a while.
It's about to have its 50th anniversary, so like it's sucked before, then been good, and then it's had its ebbs and flows. I mean, nobody remembers the time that like Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall and all of them were on the show for a year, and stuff like that. It's had shitty,
I definitely don't remember
shitty times before, but I mean, it's not. I think if we want to talk about that for a second, is I don't think Saturday Night Live is what it used to be. I mean, there's so many pre-taped skits that they do now, and they try to raise the production value, so they go out and they film all these things. It's not just a live thing going on anymore. Yeah. They air that bit live in front of a studio audience, but
Well,
the stuff that like Justin Timberlake was doing with what's that other Andy Samberg, like all their videos that they were forming, and
I will say though,
like the
at
Lost
least,
Island Boys or whatever they're called.
At
Getting
least,
some listeners like fucking yelling, "It's not what they're fucking called, man."
Well, at least with Andy Samberg and like Justin Timberlake and them, it was still kind of goofy. Like it was still funny.
Yeah, but it wasn't like
sure.
It was being done a totally different style.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying, and I think it loses some of its.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I found some of that stuff funny, but it's just not. It's a different show at that point.
But I'm saying, but now it's almost I feel like they've chosen to take a stance on everything now. So I feel like they've sacrificed funny for let's make a political statement, which I don't think that's ever a good idea, no matter what side it's for. So
well, that's the other thing. Like when I was listening to the history of the show, is back in the 70s and the 80s, it was let's make fun of everybody.
Right.
It didn't matter your political. It didn't matter anything. If it's topical, if it's funny, whatever, it played. Like they. I think Chevy Chase did Gerald Ford impersonations, and like they've been. They would have a president no matter what and stuff.
Exactly. Well, you should take shots at no matter. It's the whole thing. You should take shots
but now
at no
it's
matter
not
who's
that way
in
anymore.
office.
Now it's well, we're not going to make fun of Democrats very much. We're not going to paint them in a make them look stupid or paint them in a light. I don't know if they've done that since Clinton. Phil Hartman used to do a Clinton impersonation, but they kept it soft, like he liked to go to sneak off to McDonald's or whatever and have a burger. They didn't touch a lot of the scandal stuff with him too much. I think it started to turn a little bit then.
Yeah, but I mean, even they definitely went after Bush and stuff like that, but they were softer on him than they were what it eventually became. You know what I mean? Like they were still kind of somewhat equal, but definitely had a way that they leaned. But now it's not even close. Like in one of them, in like the debates a couple years ago, they literally made jokes about Herman Cain dying while they made Biden out to be like a pretty cool dude. And it's like, guys, this guy doesn't know where he's at. You can make jokes.
That's live stuff. I'm gonna get back to the movie here. So Chevy Chase decided that Saturday Night Live wasn't for him for whatever reason. He did the news desk and stuff like that. He definitely made a name for himself there. And so he starts off with this movie, Foul Play, which I saw as a kid. It came out in 78. I don't know. What does that make me? I was 5 years old, I guess. No, I didn't see it like in theaters or anything. I may have seen it in like 1980 or something like that I think I remember seeing it on HBO, like when it would come on HBO.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure if I ever
saw it.
I'm not sure. I don't think I saw it in the theaters. I may have, but I don't. I know I've seen the movie, but I think like literally like the last time I saw it was 1978. I saw it once, and and it may have been like on HBO or something like that. But
but it has a great cast to it. We'll start there as to why this is a great movie or a really good movie. It's not a shitty movie. I mean, so it has Goldie Hawn, of course, who was a big star back then as well.
When she was smoking hot back then.
Holy shit! Like I used to think she should have gotten the reverence that Farrah Fawcett got back in that day.
I always thought she was really hot.
I was fine with if you reverse those two in their standings. Had Burgess Meredith in it.
Yep.
Fresh off of Rocky.
That's back when he wasn't 100 years old.
No, he was only like 94. So.
Yeah. 85, 90, something like that.
I think he was born looking 75 though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone back and I can't find a role where I'm like, holy shit. Look at him. He's just he's like Don Knotts in that way. Like he's just always looked that way, Don Knotts was like looked 70 when he was in like his 20s. It's got a young Brian Dennehy in it. You guys remember Brian Dennehy?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Who's Brian Dennehy?
So
Dudley Moore was in it.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. I know who Brian Dennehy is.
I wanted to save Dudley Moore actually because Dudley Moore has probably the scene stealer. Like he's only in it he's in it in a few parts. He plays a conductor. He's a music conductor, you find out. And that kind of plays out towards the end of the movie, like right as like they're getting to the apex of everything, like the big chase at the end and stuff. He's actually conducting the music that they're using to play to build up the hype of this big chase scene and all that stuff. But before it, his introduction in this movie is one of the funniest fucking scenes in this, where uh, Goldie Hawn plays Gloria, and she's got these people after her. She has a hold of something that she's not aware of. It's they use this concept in lots of movies. It's one of the first ones to use it, though. A guy slips something in her in her purse to stash it away, and ends up getting killed. But she has it now, and she's unaware that he stashed it. Right. So they're now on to her and after her, and she has no idea why the fuck they're chasing her, why what happened to that other guy, all this stuff. So she's running through town, and she runs into this nightclub, and they come into the nightclub as well. And so she spots the first guy that's right there, and it happens to be Dudley Moore. And she's kind of like, uses her charms a little bit to be like, hey, can we get out of here? And of course, Dudley Moore's just like, fucking Goldie Hawn. He's just like, yeah, like let's get the fuck out. And so they go back to his apartment, and she's doing nothing but watching out the window. She's looking out his window and watching these guys running around the street, and they're like, look this way, go that way, and she's just watching. And the whole time, Dudley Moore is turning this weird normal apartment into this giant like party fest thing. Like a disco ball drops from the ceiling, this water bed comes out of the wall, like those Murphy bed style
like
things.
Hit a button, right, and it turns into the pimp pad.
But it's pimp pad like / like you can tell he's kind of lonely though, because he's got like inflatable dolls and they start floating around the room everywhere. And she has none, and it's got Staying Alive playing on in the background. Like he puts his hi-fi on, and he's playing that, and he's dancing to it, and he's stripping down, like he's getting down to his boxers and all stuff already. And she turns around, and her reaction to, holy fucking shit, like what the fuck do you think we were gonna do and all this? And he's just like, oh, nothing, he's like trying to stuff the stuff everything back away.
I do remember that.
Dudley Moore
I do remember that.
When the early 80s, I thought nobody was funnier than Dudley Moore. Actually,
I loved Arthur. That movie has a lot of that guy.
Yeah,
a lot of character actors were like, oh, I remember this guy. He was in that movie.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? It's a whole bunch of those recognizable faces.
Yeah, and it has Billy Barty in it too. The midget that was like, if you needed a midget, you called Billy Barty.
Right. Yep.
He had that little voice and stuff. And he's in another Chevy Chase movie I think we'll do down the line too. So I guess they like working together or something like that. But yeah, you're right. It had a lot of that guys and people like, I think I don't even think Brian Dennehy was like a movie star back then. I think it was probably one of it. Again, somebody's probably yelling at their thing right. He fucking won an Oscar before that.
Do you remember who Brian Dennehy is?
I didn't until I looked it up here. I know who he is now, but I will say I didn't.
He was the dad in Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy, and he's in.
And he was also wasn't he?
He's in First
Blood.
Blood.
FX guy.
But wasn't he also in
Rainbow?
No, that TV show, A Family Affair. Wasn't he in Family Affair?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I watched that show.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, because you don't remember a Family Affair? It was a terrible fucking show back in the 70s. It was like a. Let me look this up. They had he was the dad, and they had like a butler. I'm trying to remember the butler's name, but then he had 2 kids. He was like kind of rich or something. I'm trying to remember the hell. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right. So I apparently he started off with Semi Tough with Burt Reynolds. Do you remember that? Which is another football movie, kind of like
yes, I do.
Longest Yard. Yeah. That was a good movie. I have that on DVD actually too.
Ryan, did you know that there was a TV show based off of this movie?
No, I did not know that. I didn't know anybody thought about it.
It looks terrible. Let me be honest.
It could have lasted long. I can't imagine how it would.
No, it was only 11 episodes.
I don't. His TV work. I see Kojak, Lou Grant, Dallas, Dynasty, and Hunter, and an episode of Miami Vice.
No. This was it. It's
no. I'm talking to your dad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the show that I'm talking about.
There's a TV show called Foul Play. Also, very short-lived series based on the film of the same name, Foul Play. It was only ran for 11 episodes. Apparently, it sucked.
Oh yeah, that's even more forgotten than the fucking movie is. This is a forgotten film. That's like ultra forgotten film there. But I thought this was a great movie. Like, this was my first introduction to Chevy Chase. I didn't stay up late Saturday nights with Saturday Night Live back then. I was 5 years old. But I remember like all the adults in my life were like, oh, Chevy Chase has got a movie coming out. So he became a I also don't. I remember not understanding his name being Chevy,
and not Chevy
because I was like, but it's Chevy, right? And they're like, no, it's Chevy, and I was like, but we drive a Chevy, right? yeah, of course we do. It's just like,
but we drive a Chevy. No, we drive a Chevy.
Yeah, what? So yeah, it's one of those other when you learn early that the English language could let you down a little bit, like. There's 7 ways to spell two. What?
The show I'm thinking of, I was wrong. It was Brian Keith was the actor I'm thinking of. Don't you remember? Had one
of those
had
rare
the two
Brians.
kids, Jody and Buffy, and they had the butler named Mr. French.
I don't remember this show at all.
Oh my god! It was
the only fucking butler I remember was Mr. Belvedere. It's the only one I remember. I think they had a butler and the nanny, but I didn't watch that.
This show came out.
I loved Hazel.
I couldn't stand that show either. 66 to 71. So I mean, I was catching reruns, so it was already out of production when I was watching it.
Okay.
Or I say when I was watching it, when it would come on, I'd go, God, this is fucking terrible, and then I would change it.
I like what was it? Not Hazel. Bewitched was back in that time, right?
Yeah, Bewitched. Yeah,
I like that one. And then I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Dobie Gillis?
Oh yeah,
I watched that one.
Remember F Troop?
Yeah, I remember F Troop. Like, I think they came on back to back in the middle of the day during the summers, didn't they?
Yeah,
like Channel 36 or something like that would have them.
I remember watching them. My grandma's lake house with my Uncle Wally. Just be hanging out, and we'd. Like in the mornings, we'd get up and eat breakfast and everything. Then we'd go fishing and just basically come back to the house and just watch like F Troop and Dobie Gillis and just it was.
I think what blew my mind about Dobie Gillis the most was to watch a black and white stoner version of Gilligan.
Yeah, because so Dobie Gillis was played by the guy who plays Gilligan.
Right. Well, Dobie wasn't. His best buddy was the guy that played Gilligan. What's his name? Bob something.
Bob Denver. Yeah,
Bob Denver, right.
Yeah.
He was his best buddy. And he looked like a human version of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo because he had that shit on his chin and all that kind of stuff. But I had already grew up as a little kid watching Gilligan's Island.
Right.
And then Dobie Gillis, which I think was an older show than that.
Yeah, that was before.
Yeah, I caught the reruns after, and I was just like, holy shit, that's fucking Gilligan. And he's like a, fucking beatnik and shit like that. I was like, why does he talk like a stoner? I didn't know what a stoner was. But also back then, I always thought that. Here's the thing.
I lived in a house full of them, so I knew what they were.
But see, that's the thing. Here's another when your eyes are opened up on something. When I was a kid, because of that character and other hippies and stuff, I only thought that hippie white people smoked pot. And the first time I found out that black people like pot, it blew my mind. I was like, they do? And they were like, yeah, a lot. And I was just,
Yo.
I didn't know that was a thing. I just pictured hippies from like the 60s sitting around smoking pot and stuff because it was all I was ever exposed to. So there's that.
Yo,
if that's another piece to the puzzle for you guys.
This show for sure sucked ass. This show that was based off this movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this episode.
No. No. This show for sure was fucking trash. First off, do you know, do you
Foul
guys,
play?
Yeah, do you guys remember who Barry Bostwick was? Bostwick?
Sounds familiar. Yeah, I gotta
It,
get
se-
the
it seems like a
damn
guy
phone
you guys
number.
might know, but I
Yeah,
have no
that
fucking
name
idea who
sounds
this is.
familiar.
But hold on, listen. So what it says, like the summary of the show, like it's on the poster here for it. She's a
Mhm.
cute, classy librarian. He's a klutzy cop. She lives alone and likes it. He'd love to live with her. She likes to be where the action is. He'd like to be in on the action. When they get together, watch the sparks fly. Yo, this show
This
fucking
one
sucked.
picture makes him look like Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was
Like
going to
an
say
old
the
Ron
same thing. He
Perlman.
looks like a broke Ron Perlman.
Yeah. Is that the Wish version of Ron Perlman?
Yeah, when you buy Ron Perlman on Wish.
Yeah.
It's not even any of the characters from the movie other than her. This show fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Oh my god, Corey Feldman was in it.
There you go.
This guy was on Spin City, that show with Michael J. Fox and stuff, but he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. It says
Damn, they got the Feld dog.
The 2020 version, though.
Feld Dog.
That's what he calls himself.
That's funny. Oh yeah, he's the one that's still alive, right?
The Feld
Out
dog.
of the two Corys.
Yeah, don't get me started on this.
Yeah.
This is a whole episode.
About the two Corys?
Yes, dude, it's a whole
I just-
episode. Don't get me started, dude.
I'm tempted, but I don't want to.
Dude, he has
Like
a,
I don't
he
want
has
to
a-
fuck up the episode.
He has a
but-
biography called Choreography.
Oh, dude,
This
keep
guy
the
sucks
box.
so much, dude.
Don't open the box. Don't open the box. I can see like light and pressure coming off this box.
Here's the
that's
problem.
ready to burst open.
Here's the only thing I'll say is
I've heard some things, but
here's the only thing I'll say. I'm a huge fan of The Bonfire on Sirius XM. Anyone that
Okay.
is interested in the Corey Feldman saga, go listen to The Bonfire because they've literally done years of and to the
Yeah.
point where Corey Feldman thinks they're his enemies, and he has he has posters up of Big J Okerson and Dan Soder to not let them into his concerts when he goes and plays. But at some point, we're gonna have to pull up some of his music. It's fucking horrible. So much,
Okay.
it's so bad,
Yeah.
and he's so committed to
Uh-huh.
it that it's awesome. I want to go see him live, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
also the Lost Boys is really good.
Well,
Yeah.
he has his Corey's Angels and
Yeah, the Corey's
that's a whole-
Angels.
That's a whole
They,
thing.
they
too, in
actually
and
got
itself.
one of the Corey's Angels on the Bonfire to come talk about it and like the cult that he has. It's I'm serious. There's hours and hours and hours that the Bonfire's done that like
So it sounds like it's just
crazy.
one Corey in your story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Corey Feldman.
yeah. But he also like he has a fucking book and a
Right.
documentary where he basically
About the abuse and stuff. That,
yeah, but he throws the other Corey under the bus the whole time. There's quotes of him just like throwing Corey Haim under the bus about how he's basically asking to get butt fucked the whole time and how he was on drugs. Like Corey Haim's mom hates Corey Feldman. Like he ran his name through the mud like crazy. And like
All right,
every
all right.
yeah.
Another episode.
Dude, it's so much. It's hours of Corey Feldman.
That's what we
material.
call a teaser, folks.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but you're like one of those movie trailers where I don't have to see the movie at the end.
No. You do.
the
You still-
trailer?
no,
I'll be
you
like,
still
well,
have to.
That's the best part of
Kinda
the whole movie. We're in the
still
30-second trailer.
Yeah.
No.
And they actually start at the beginning
No,
of the
no, no,
movie.
no.
Go through the middle. You see how it wraps up.
No, you don't
Oh, so-
understand. You
So he
don't
throws
understand.
the emperor down that shaft, huh?
No. Go. I'm serious. Go look up the highlights on the Bonfire. They've done years of shit on it. As a fan of that show, anything Corey Feldman related gets me so fucking excited because that dude sucks ass. I hate Corey
I
Feldman.
had no idea you had a Corey
and
Feldman thing.
and I love Corey Feldman because I hate him so much. It's incredible.
That should be a clip right there. Corey Feldman gets me so excited. That should be
So
a nice
pumped.
little. Yeah.
It's incredible, dude.
Did you add that other thing where he said "fucks in the ass"? You just put all that together in
Yeah.
one big. You remember when they used to make those Southside Steve pornos?
Oh, yeah.
Like when he interviewed John Travolta and when he had that conversation with that old lady.
Yep.
Don't
They
worry,
would,
I got a couple of years.
Granny
The one,
porno
did
with
you ever hear the
Southside-
one where they did with us, with Star Trek, where they edited Star Trek together to sound like a gay porno?
I think so.
That
I think
shit
it's
was
been
hilarious.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the regular guys used to do that to Southside Steve. Like he interviewed John Travolta, and they took different things they said.
They
then you just
clipped
hear
it up.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I
Yeah.
got a couple of yours on here that I can chop up.
Nah,
What's
that's
that?
All right.
I said, don't worry, I got a couple of Ryan that I got chopped up. I got some of both of us too, but Ryan's happened to be the funniest.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that whole teabag thing to bite me in the ass.
Yeah,
again
yeah.
one
There
day.
was an episode where
I know.
he was talking
I know
about
that's
teabag
just
stuff.
way like, hey, it's our 5th anniversary. Break that shit out for that.
Yeah,
we're gonna play these clips of Ryan, and then we got some hate mail that we've been accumulating over the.
I got some of us that are funny, but he just perfectly walked into like, I love getting teabagged. Like,
it's quite nice.
Well, let's wrap it up.
Alrighty, have we? So anyway, foul play. Like, how do you? I usually. Does anybody think? What do you guys? While I look this up, do you guys have a theory as to why it's not a big deal? Is it because his other movies were that much better?
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Actually, do you think it might be the timing of?
Can you vamp for me?
I was working on it
yourself.
I was working on it.
I can't be your crutch every time.
I was going to say, do you think it might be the how quickly it was that he left SNL, or I mean, I don't know. Like, could it be that he was only there for one season? I actually didn't know he was there that short of amount of time.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was there longer than you're thinking.
Okay.
I think he was there at. I mean, he wasn't there for a long time, but I want to say he was there for about 2 seasons.
Well, because he was the Weekend Update guy, right? Like the original one.
Yeah.
I think he got hurt. Something about reminds like he got hurt or something.
All right, 2 seasons.
Okay.
Says Chevy Chase was arguably the first big star to come out of SNL and also the first big star to leave the cast in '76. After sticking around for just 2 seasons, he also had the distinction of being the very first Weekend Update anchor. So he was there for 2 seasons. But if I remember right from listening to that history of that, he actually didn't. I don't think he made it through the end of the 2nd season. I think he
got hurt. I think he got hurt or something.
Well, okay,
Maybe.
but if it was at the time where he was kind of the first big star.
Okay, so meanwhile, during the season, Chevy Chase left the show following an injury.
Okay.
He returned for Weekend Update in a wheelchair for 3 episodes before leaving permanently. And then Jane Curtin took over Weekend Update. So that's what happened.
With Dan Aykroyd, right?
Right. Yeah. He was.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Yes, that's such a great soundbite. Oh, I love that soundbite.
But if he was kind of the first star to come out of there, you think that movie would have done well. But I wonder if maybe could that have been the reason it didn't do well, is because he was kind of walking away from a show that was kind of.
Well, the thing is I think it did well for the time. Right. I remember people being. I don't think it stood the test of time, and I think it's just because it's immensely overshadowed by his work in the later '80s, Caddyshack, and
part of it is it's got that early '80s feel to it.
Right.
Where there's just
it's very dated.
There's a certain amount of cheese to it that's not supposed to be there, but if you look at it now, you're like, oh, this is so cheesy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have CGI or anything like that, so the car chases were very just early '80s. I mean, when you watch it,
funny
it's
about
very
the car
dated.
chases is they're big fucking bulky cars.
Right.
You just don't see them being like good for car chasing. It's like, these big giant Chevys.
And some of the things that happen are a little slapstick.
Chevys. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the midget.
It's not as polished as it would be nowadays.
Yeah.
As I said, do you feel like it has a little bit? I know we talked about in the last Forgotten Films. We brought up when you found WKRP again, and you're like, "Oh, I love this show," and then you watch it.
Yeah,
it
just doesn't hold up.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I was gonna say, does it have a little bit of that, like the WKRP thing, where it's like, "Oh yeah, this was a little like
it was great
at
the time, but now you look at it, it just doesn't age as well."
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to add to this. I forgot to put this in my notes, but I will say that Chevy Chase has the best line I've ever heard somebody use on a woman before. And I think it's in one of the Fletch movies. I think it's actually in Fletch 2.
Fletch 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Yes. Fletch 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It's callback.
It's one of the funniest things, and I've used it ever since. I love this line. One of the girls from the movie comes up to introduce herself, like she's meeting Fletch or whatever, right? And she wants to go over some legal documents or something like that. And she comes in and she's like, "Hi, are you Irwin and Fletcher?" And he says, "Hi, what can I do for you?"
What can I do for you?
Yeah, he goes, "What can I do to you for you?" And the way he shakes his head and everything, the way he corrects himself is so fucking brilliant to listen to.
He's so good at that.
And that's like a good synopsis of why he's so funny and everything. But the way he said it to her, it was so seamless and perfect. I've loved it since I was a kid.
Well,
I've
it's the
used it.
same. It's the same thing with
The vacation
like
movies
in Christmas
and-
Vacation when he's like, it wouldn't be the Christmas season if the
Mhm.
stores got any hotter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. He has that style of
Yeah,
oops, I didn't mean to say this, but I did
Yeah.
mean to say it.
Yeah.
You know, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like it was.
He's
it's
very good
seamless.
at
can't see the lines, can you, Russ?
that.
Yeah. But he does it with other things too in that movie too, like the can I refill your eggnog for you?
Please.
You know,
Something
gets
to eat,
in-
something to drink. Drop you off in the
drive
middle of nowhere, leave you for dead.
dead.
Oh, Clark, I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, or the same
he's
thing,
great
like-
at that. But that's been one of my favorite. I know it's been one of my favorite things, lines of anything, and I count it as like a pickup line.
for
But
you.
what can I do to you for you? It's been with me since I was a kid.
Well, it's the
That's
same like
awesome.
the whatever vacation movie it was where she's stirring up the thing with her
Oh
arm.
yeah, can,
And it's like,
can I help you with that
Please?
Gatorade? Or can I help you with that Kool-Aid?
Please?
I got it. Yeah,
Please. She's using her
I don't know
arm.
why they call it hamburger helper.
Help.
This stuff's good enough just as it is by
Without-
itself.
Yeah. There's no meat on this burger. You get
Yeah.
enough meat at home.
Yeah.
Real tomato ketchup, Eddie.
Nothing but the good
Nothing but the
stuff.
best. Nothing but the best.
He gives him the white shoes. I saw you looking at mine before. Such rip. Oh man. We could have a whole thing about Cousin Eddie stuff. Has nobody watched that the sequel to a sequel, Christmas Vacation 2?
No,
where
no
it's
one's
based
ever
on
watched
his
it.
family?
Ever.
We were talking about that in the group chat one time.
Yeah, the one
I
that went
think-
straight to Crackle.
Yeah.
No
Straight
one's
to
ever watched that ever.
I think we should have a watch party. With
Yeah, I
that.
think we should. It was Cousin
It's-
Eddie's
Yeah,
big day out or something. I don't
know.
remember
No, it's
the
like
name
an
of it.
island vacation.
We should do
They're
that.
stranded on an island at Christmas time. That's all I know.
We should do that for the live show. We should do like a Mystery Science Theater thing for the live show.
All right, we can do that. Well,
Well, that would be
No.
tough, but we could recap it on the live show.
by the way, I think when so the next episodes are going to be the live episodes, correct?
I don't think so.
I think we should just have part 1, part 2.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think
just-
it's the
yeah.
live episodes next though. I
That'd
think
be
I think
fine.
we have one more set of episodes before the live show.
How?
I
Like
think so.
that are being we're recording again before you guys get here. We only record like once a month. You can edit all this shit out.
I don't know.
Behind the
Maybe I'm
scenes,
wrong.
How do you
I don't
make
know.
the sausage shit? But what?
I could be wrong. I'll be honest. I haven't looked at the dates at all.
We recorded it the 1st of September, and now we're recording the 1st of October.
What day are you coming back, Nick?
Yeah, that's the thing. Hold on, let's just wrap this one up real quick, and then we can go over all this.
All right.
I don't want to have to edit too much of this one big block here.
Ooh, wait.
All right,
wait,
well, anyway,
and then when
I
we come back, I
recommend
can
everybody
recap my
go.
spirit.
What
flight.
What would you like to say, sir?
And then when
It's
we
your show. It's clearly your show.
No, wait, I was gonna say because we're talking about our live show. When we
Yeah.
come back, I can recap my spirit flight if I make it home alive.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely should have some spirit stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and the brisket. Don't forget that brisket with the dry ice random baggage check. Yeah, you can tell us
Pack
how
that
that.
in your
yeah.
carry on.
I
Do
might.
you have nightmares of people like slapping rubber gloves on and squirting the jelly? You like
Now that I think about it,
Right
I might
like
be
3
able to-
nights before a flight, you start fucking sweating about that.
Now that I think about it, I might be able to bring a brisket through spirit.
Okay.
Don't think they'll notice.
They might not check.
Wow.
They
Once
might
they
not check.
listen to this podcast, they're going to be on to you.
Nobody listens to
Once-
this podcast.
If they do, I think they would work. I think Spirit employees is probably our bread and
Our
butter.
demo.
Yeah, our demo. People that would work for Spirit, like just in general, like that type of person. Generally live in a trailer. They listen a lot because there's really not that much else to do.
Confiscate airport
Anyway.
biscuits.
Yeah, all right. Do you want to do any more behind the scenes before I wrap this up and then we talk about behind the scenes? Or are you good?
Go well. Listen to the last episode for stage dive updates. It's the same thing.
It is. And then listen. The last episode was a lot better too. So listen to that for the quality as well.
Yeah.
I think it will be. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this episode, though. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Anyway, they're all great. They're all my babies. Like, I love them all equally. I can't choose a favorite.
That's a lie.
Just like you two. Just like you two. Nick, you're my favorite.
Oh, hey, dude, Ryan, do plugs. Ryan,
I've known him longer. It's all right.
Ryan, do plugs.
Yeah. Do plugs?
Yeah.
No.
Joe Biden?
No. I've used a little bit of color, but it's still thinning. I don't do plugs.
Ryan, do plugs
Like
so we can.
Okay, follow us on Facebook, right? All the social medias. We got something on, well, probably just Facebook, I think.
What?
Make sure you what?
What? The hell was that?
Do we have other social media besides Facebook?
I plug it every time.
Which one? Instagram? We have Instagram.
Go to our Facebook page for the Guys Like Us show. Follow us on Instagram.
I just wanted him to do this.
Follow us on Instagram at Guys Like Us _pod and Sayge _media. Email us your forgotten film opinions at we are guys like us at gmail.com.
Also, I was looking at the list of forgotten films, and I started falling off the cliff around 5 or 6. So if anybody has any ideas of a forgotten film they'd like us to go over, we'd love to hear it, because I'm going to run out. I've got about a handful of Chevy Chase and Steve Martin movies, it turns out. But I'll try to branch out. But in the meantime, if anybody else has a forgotten film that
it's
they'd
the
like
apex
us to go
of
over,
cinema.
that's right. So hit us up with that. Keep your hate mail to your fucking self. I don't want to read it. I don't want to hear it. I'm already in therapy enough as it is. And that's going to do it for us. Till the next episode. I believe the next episode, we'll discuss it later. Next episode might be a live episode where we all get together in one place, having beers, having fun. So look forward to that as well.
You know what we won't do?
What's that?
We won't step on down power lines.
There's that. All right. We good?
Yeah.
All right. So what day you...
This has been a Sage Media production.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.